so you got the same people crossover, so.
All right, it is 7 o'clock. Welcome to the Wednesday, March 4th, 2026 Pembroke Select Board meeting. Please join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start our meeting tonight, I just wanted to share that our community had a fixture in this town pass away March 2nd. Linda Osborne, who I know everybody in this town must have known Linda. I think she was on the memorial committee for decades. She was the chair of the memorial committee for probably 25 years at least. She was actually, I would like to actually read part of her obituary if everybody would be okay with that, because they did a nice description of some of the things that she did here. Linda was a patriotic American and a proud resident of Pembroke for over 60 years and was dedicated to community service. She volunteered in many capacities, including the Girl Scouts, Pembroke Memorial Committee, Historical Society, Chamber of Commerce, and the Council on Aging. She also served as the president of the Alden Kindred of America for a 17-year term and volunteered with the Yankee Golden Retriever Rescue and the Social Community Action Council. Linda demonstrated a love for children early on, beginning with babysitting for neighborhood families as a teenager, through a career in early childhood education, and as a loving mother and grandmother. She also found renewal in nature and the water, frequently going to Duxbury Beach and local conservation lands. She was the founder and the owner of the Center Preschool and Child Care, formerly of Pembroke and now located in Hanover, which has now been in business since 1983. Just so everybody is aware, visiting hours will be held from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. with a memorial service at 11 on Saturday, March 14th, 2026 at the Shepherd Funeral Home in Kingston, and burial will be at Mayflower Cemetery in Duxbury at 12 o'clock. I would like to have a moment of silence for Linda, if everybody would join me, please. Thank you. Oh, I was heartsick to hear about this. I didn't know until this morning. Oh. All right. Were there any other announcements today before we start?
I'll do it during town manager.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? All right. Then our first scheduled appointment is a Chamber of Commerce update. Fraser, that's you.
It's a show and tell, so
Okay.
I'll be reaching back for the... Anyway, I want to start by thanking you, Tracy, for inviting us here tonight, and to the rest of the board for your time. We have a few things that we want to talk about. The first one, I want to start with an announcement we made about a month ago about joining as an affiliate of the South Shore Chamber. And I want to make sure people understand what that means. So the Pembroke Chamber of Commerce is now an affiliate of the South Shore Chamber, but we still do our own activities. We still run ourselves. We're just part of their bigger catchment. They're going to manage a lot of our marketing for us. So there's a lot of initiatives that we're all volunteer. None of us are paid. The South Shore, they're paid workers. So we are working with them and they're assisting us. So that's the announcement about the South Shore Chamber. I want to talk briefly about the podcast that we do every week. So every week we come here, we record one of the town managers reading the town headlines, and those town headlines may mean, for instance, this week we made the announcement that today's happening. This is the select board meeting. So all the boards and the meetings, any roads that are being shut, we make those announcements, and then we have a guest speaker. This week it was Senator Dylan Fernandez. The podcast lasted an hour, which was informative. Next week we have a very special guest. He's a member of the founding family of Big Y. So Matthew Dubois will be on the show, and he'll be telling us all about why they've chosen here and what their plans and their prospects are. So the Spotlight podcast is a very popular podcast. We'll continue doing it. We're fully booked for every week this month. You winked then. What was that for?
I did not.
Okay. You've been a guest, actually.
Yes, I have.
John's been a guest, and you're all welcome to be a guest. Rich, I'd like to have you on before you leave this role that you're in, or you can come on with your company and talk about your company. The other thing I want to discuss with you is we have started a new initiative. One of the podcasts we did was with Katrina Delaney, and she was talking about CPAC. And during that podcast, we identified that we have a role to play in town of assisting companies with how to deal with employing with residents, for instance, of New England Village. So there's a lot of companies out there looking to employ people with disabilities, but they don't know how to train their middle managers who are actually ultimately managing the people with disabilities. So we've created a department called Bridge, and this is the logo we have for it: Building Readiness, Inclusion and Development for Growth in Employment. So as I said, we've identified there's this missing piece in what we do and in what yes? I'm sorry? Thank you. Not a media personality. And so what we'll start by doing is just collating and pulling all of the known resources that people can have access to. So there is Merge, which is, I don't know if you know Lisa Drennan's company.
Very well.
PYD in Boston. So we'll pull all of those resources together on our website so people have a place to go to... Sorry, the reporter. I can send you these assets, actually, if that would be easier. So that's a new department. That's an activity that we're doing. The other, I just want to go back to the podcast that we do. So that's part of our initiative to grow the information, grow people's knowledge of the businesses in town. But we're also doing, we're putting more emphasis on having social events. We're trying to do them every month. So the next social event is actually tomorrow night. It's at Sue Bollinger's office. Well, it's Sharon's office, but it's at Boston Connect. You're all welcome. We've been heavily promoting that. But it's a social event where the chamber gets together with as many guests and businesses that can attend. And we'll have various pieces of paperwork, and we'll be talking about various initiatives. I will probably be repeating what I've said tonight. So one of those main initiatives that we have that we wanted to promote is the Taste of Pembroke. So we're going to reintroduce, makes it sound like we've invented something. We want to do the Taste of Pembroke this year. It hasn't been done since, I think it was 2018, the last time it was done. COVID killed it, and then it was never picked up again. So we want to bring that back to the town. We have a date. We have a poster, actually. So this is our poster for the camera, people at home, for the people in the audience. So, so the date is June the 6th. It'll be at the community centre, and it will be from 1 until 5. We have already started a campaign. We're looking for volunteers, but we have actually built the core. Pat Masters has joined the group. David, if I can say your name. Boyle. David Boyle. He's part of the committee. He's looking after the drink, everybody. So it'll be quite an event. We identified that Taste of Pembroke spells top. So we have had, or we're having, plaques made up for any restaurant that participates or eating establishment, and it'll have our seal on it, and it'll just say that this restaurant's a top restaurant. It's a play on words, but we think it works. We'll be announcing this again tomorrow night at Sue's event, and we'll also be handing out sponsorship forms and so we can sign people up. So that's top, Taste of Pembroke. And finally, the last thing I just wanted to announce, it was agreed yesterday that we will continue with the candidates forum. So that has been booked now. It'll be at the library on the 7th of May, 6 till 8. And we still haven't worked out the format yet. We don't want to repeat last year's format, which was us not repeating the format of the year before. So we're keeping it fresh. We'll be mixing it up. We'll have as many of the candidates as we can do and as many of the races as we can do. So that will be on May 7th. So it's a full calendar for the next 3 months. Any questions?
No questions. I'm excited the Taste of Pembroke is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That was well loved.
Mm-hmm.
So who hosted that before? Do we remember?
Who hosted?
Yeah, who did who?
Last one I went to, I think Kathleen did.
Like it wasn't the
She
chamber
was
that.
part of it for a few years, yeah, but then she gave it up, and I don't know who took it.
When did she give it
What
up?
group was she
'Cause
part of?
if she gave it up in 2018, that was the last time we did it.
Well, then maybe that's what happened.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
But
just curious.
she and I have been. Oh, I'm sorry. She and I have been in communication, so I think she's excited. And
She's very excited.
yeah, so good. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
to see
you
you.
for-
Thanks,
Thank you.
Virgin.
Next up, we have a door-to-door solicitation permit renewal by Anderson. Hi,
Hello,
how are you?
I'm well.
Could you identify yourself?
Yes, Stephen Dunn, I'm a direct marketing associate for Renewal by Anderson.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, my pleasure.
And what are you looking for today?
We're looking for a solicitor's permit to be able to go door to door to set appointments, future appointments for replacement doors and windows to get them free quotes.
Perfect. And paperwork, everything is in order, Bill?
Yes, if you approve it this evening, he'll have to do the final police piece and
Right,
get the
right.
IDs, so.
And this is a renewal, is that what you said? Or
Yeah,
is it
Renewal
just the
by
name of the-
Anderson.
Okay,
We are a subsidiary of Anderson Window.
right. Okay, does anybody have any questions?
I just want to reiterate the rules and regulations of door-to-door solicitation. Everyone has to get badged by the police, and we have a no solicitation list in town, and just need to make sure that anyone that's working for you adheres to that.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be two of us that will be knocking, and we have both been made aware of the no-knock list, and we are very respectful of the no-knock.
And then within our motion that we'll make, when it's dusk, that's half an hour before it is dark. So even though it also says or 7 p.m., when it's dark, please don't.
Okay,
That's a big one for us.
understandable.
Thank you.
There's no further discussion, I would accept a motion.
Move to approve the application of Stephen Dunn on behalf of Renewal by Anderson for the door-to-door solicitation permit authorizing sales from 11 a.m. to dusk or 7 p.m., Monday through Sunday for 90 days, permit to expire June 3rd, 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're all set, just come see us when you're ready, tomorrow, whenever.
Our first board action item is a discussion and possible vote of warrant article recommendations.
Can we take the liquor license out of order to
Sure.
get these folks going?
Why don't we do both of those, actually,
Yeah.
and then come back to the first and the last?
Yeah, just
All right,
because-
so then, jumping ahead, we're going to do a vote on an application for one-day liquor license service at Tiny and Sons on April 2nd, 2026, Master General Law, Chapter 138, subsection 14. Would that be you, Mr. Boyle? Do you want to come on up? Hi,
Hi, folks. Thank you so much for having me.
we're happy to have you.
What we're actually going to do is, many of you know my lovely wife, some better than others. Dan Trabuco is one of her favorite people because, of course, Dan saved my life when I had a terrible episode back here many years ago. Karen passed away about a year and a half ago, and my thought was, when she passed, in lieu of flowers, I asked for people to donate to a scholarship fund. To say we did pretty well with that was outstanding, and we gave back a lot of money to the community, and I gear it predominantly to Pembroke kids. I had one Pembroke guy that was a Silver Lake person, and someone said to me, well, he's not at Pembroke High School. I said, he's a Pembroke kid who went to Silver Lake, so we're okay. So Peter Brown has been generous enough, if you know his building down on Route 53, he's got a back room that is pretty good sized, and he has offered it to me, and we're gonna do on April 2nd from 6 to 8. That way hopefully no neighbors are upset or will get anyone angry at us. It's gonna be beer and wine tasting, a $10 ticket. I will be there to supervise. I'm a master trainer for tips for 30 years and currently now teaching SurfSafe. I do most of the corporate training across New England for most of the major corporations. I even do it for Logan Airport, which is kind of fun. So I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. We will have raffles, prizes, almost anything you can imagine. Somebody wants to win an electric bike. Someone donated an electric bike. I don't know honestly what an electric bike is. I have to take it out of the box, but I'll figure that part out. So I've come before the board to kind of promote the event a little and to say thank you and consider it. And if I could get the one-day license, we'll go full steam ahead and start promoting within the city and excuse me, within town. I apologize. And again, I'm going to say most of the money goes back to Pembroke kids, and I will say the one exception, I was blessed last year to be the commencement speaker at Springfield College.
I remember.
And, well, it's a very funny story. One of the deans said to me the year before, Billie Jean King was the speaker. And she said, Billie Jean King hit tennis balls out into the crowd. She goes, can you beat that, Mr. Boyle? And I said, yeah, I think I can. So what I did is we put a mystery ticket under one of the graduates' seats. And unfortunately, kind of a funny story, I had lost a lot of my eyesight, so I couldn't see that well. So this young man stands up, and there's 400 people, and there's 10,000 people in the Civic Center, and I couldn't see the kid. So I asked him to come out and move to the middle. Long story short, I graduated in 1983. I wrote the young man a check for $1,983.83. And to say it changed his life, yeah, it kind of did. He actually ended up coming back to the school and is now working at Springfield College. And I ran into him on campus just a few nights ago. So great kid, very happy to do it. So that's the only money that went out of Pembroke. But Springfield is very near and dear to my heart, as is Pembroke. Karen is big. Yeah, we love the scouting community. We love the schools. Most of you know I've been on the school committee for 9 years at this point, and having fun. So on that, I'm being a little long-winded. I apologize, but thank you for letting me do this.
You've done a lovely job honoring Karen. She would have been thrilled for this.
She loved you, Tracy, her coffee buddy.
I miss her. Everything's in order, I presume?
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions or discussion for David? If not, I would accept a motion.
Motion to approve the request of Dave Boyle on behalf of Karen Boyle Scholarship Foundation for a one-day liquor license under Mass General Law, Section 138, subsection 14, to serve beer and wine from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, at 128 Center Street.
Second.
That's wrong.
Nope, it's,
Wait,
That's at Tiny and Sons.
yeah.
Which I
What does
don't
it
know.
say?
It's Washington Street. I don't know the number.
oh, 128 Center.
I'll amend that by, the address is Tiny and Sons, Washington Street.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, David. I will see you there.
Thank you. Look forward to seeing all of you.
Of course.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
I did, yes.
Next up, we have a vote on an application for a one-day liquor license at, there's a 128 Center Street on March 28th, 2026, Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, subsection 14. Is somebody here to speak on this one? Nope. So this is, what do we have? Please consider Stephanie Leiden's application for an event hosted at the community center. Do you know what this is one's for? Bill, by any chance?
Yeah, she's leasing space and is requesting a one-day liquor license, so it's for an event.
Oh, social vendor events, I see.
So same thing she
We
she
did this one
before.
before.
correct?
Yep,
Yep.
I remember, the Sip and Shop. Does anybody have any, all the paperwork is in order,
Yes.
everything's in order? Okay, any questions or discussion?
50, I mean, it says 100 to 500 adults. Do we have a detail for that?
So, I don't know that we have a current requirement for a
Uh-huh.
detail, but we can if you wish.
Serving alcohol, I mean, it could,
I
it
think
says
we
up
should-
to 500.
I think we should pin down the amount, and I will make a note.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, okay. Can you give me a motion?
Move to approve the request of Stephanie Lyden on behalf of the South Shore Vendors Event for a one-day liquor license under Mass General Law, Chapter 138, subsection 14, to serve beer and wine from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday, March 28th, 2026, and it's actually at 128 Center Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Good job, Joe.
Next item is, let's go back to discussion, possible vote for warrant article recommendations.
So we have one this evening. It is Article 12. I am recommending approval. The CPC committee met and voted to move these forward with one change from what is in your packet. The packet went out before their meeting. They just met this week, so recommendation B is for $45,000, not $35,000. And if you'd like, I can go through each one. I think it may be useful
Could
to
we
do that.
please?
So recommendation A of Article 12 is to request $30,000 to create bocce courts at our community center. Recommendation B is a request for $45,000 to replace the shed at the Matakeesit Ball Field. This is a equipment storage shed. Recommendation C is for $15,000, and that is to place an equipment shed at the Magoon Field, so the Magoon Park. Recommendation D is for $13,000, is to create summer program office space with storage at the community, outside the community center for their summer programs. Recommendation E is $50,000 for the Pembroke Youth Soccer. They want to do backstop nets behind the soccer fields so that the balls will stay and not pass through. And that's at the Hobblemock Soccer Field. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I have reviewed these, and I'm recommending to the board that you move it forward with a positive recommendation for a town meeting.
What's the size of that equipment on Matakeesit for 45K?
It is, I don't know the exact size, but it's, my guess is it's probably 400 to 500 square feet. So, and they need to have the locking space and all of the other stuff, so, in the storage compartment, so.
Foundation is permanent structure?
Do we vote on these all separately or all at once?
It is your choice. My recommendation is if you are going to approve them all, that you can make one motion to approve, to recommend positive action on Article 12, recommendations A through E. If someone has a reservation or wants further discussion, then I would do them separately.
The only question I have is, where's the location of these bocce courts going to be in the community center?
So it's going to be behind the community center, near some of the other recreation space that we have there. So they're not inside, if that's your question.
No. My
Yeah.
thing is I'm trying to figure out where the equipment we have for that outdoor workout space that we've received. Then we have the
Adjacent.
planters and stuff like that too, that people are trying to do the community garden.
Right.
So I'm like, where
It's-
is it going to
It's
fit?
going to fit. They're not, the bocce courts aren't that big, so it will definitely fit. And no one's getting displaced as a result of this.
I
So,
know my brother-in-law's, his were pretty big, so I'm just like making sure we're good.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I'm comfortable taking these as a slate if everybody else is.
Yeah.
Okay, I would accept a motion.
Move favorable action for Article 12, recommendation A through E.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Bill, are there any remaining articles?
Yes. We have all of the budget articles that are still remaining. And we have the bylaw review committee who met, and we'll be bringing that to you probably at our next meeting, which is just to put us in compliance with state law on the kennel stuff. So that one's pretty easy, and actually, if you wanted to vote that this evening, you could. It just creates the statute change. We have to comply with the statute, and this just puts our bylaws in conformance with the statute. But I would wait until we get all the recommendations in place on that one, and then we're pretty much done at that point after we do all the budgets.
Okay. Next up, we have a discussion and possible vote on the bylaw committee, on a bylaw committee change. I had asked to have this placed there. I was just looking over, we created the bylaw committee, I don't know if it was a year ago now, maybe it was longer, Rich.
2 years.
2 years.
Has it been 2
Yeah,
years?
it's 2 years.
Wow.
Yep.
So I was just rereading the language, like what we have on the website, which seems, actually, we'll talk about the website later, but.
The new website?
Yeah, I've been looking at it. And we don't really seem to have a solid mission statement, or, I just think that we need to do some adjusting there. And then my other question was, first of all, in the description, it literally lists you as the chair, so it's like you're the chair listed forever, which clearly can't be. So I think we need to talk about just how we're going to organize that board. I think we should always have a selectman on there, just my opinion, but I don't know that they always need to be chair. So
It
do
would be
we-
nice to rotate.
That's what I'm saying, but the way we have it phrased on there, it's not possible. So I don't know if we need to necessarily solve it tonight, I just think that we need to have a little discussion, and then maybe I come back with a mission statement and whatnot at our next meeting, and perhaps vote it in then. It would be nice to have it in place for like May, obviously, because you're moving on, and we'll have to appoint somebody new, so then they could start fresh. But I guess I was just curious what others' thoughts were. Like, do we want to keep a selectman on there at all times? I think there should be. Do we think that it's necessary that the selectman always be chair? I don't think that that's necessary. I think that we should be able to swap that out, or the committee should be able to swap that out like everybody else does. And then I just think we really need to look at that language and write up something a little bit more detailed on what the mission is for this committee.
It would be healthy for the committee to choose their own chair,
I think so too.
because they can alternate, people come and go, you know, it's strictly all volunteer, so I think it's a good move.
Does anybody have any other thoughts on?
I think it'd be nice, next time you guys meet, Rich, if you could give us a recommendation for any changes in the language, because it's easy for us to sit here and dictate what it is, but the people that had boots on the ground actually doing the work can give us a little more feedback.
Yeah, it's a good point. We've gotten some feedback from the community in ways where people want new bylaws, but they don't know how to go about it, so that would be something I think we should probably advertise a little bit better, maybe on the new website, just so people are aware of the process. And we did have people come in, present something, and they were going to hear back from them. We never heard from them, but there is a process. It's a very fair process, and I will talk to the committee about put something together.
That would be great. I did look at some other bylaw committees in local towns and cities, and they had all different mission statements, and I could share the ones with you that I found that I thought would be somewhat applicable to us. And then I did see in one of the other, I think it might have been Plimpton, I'm not sure, but they actually had an online form too. So it almost gave you like a heads up
That'd be
that
great.
somebody, yeah, like they filled in what their thoughts were and what they thought this new bylaw might be, or what they think it should be. And then it almost gave you a heads up that they were going to come to a meeting with this conversation. So just another idea
No, that's a great
to
idea.
generate, but I'll forward you those two so that you don't have to re-look
I'll
them up, I
share
guess.
that with the committee.
That would be great. All right, so we'll plan to revisit that at the next meeting then. And then town manager's report, Bill.
Yeah, so I'm going to start with just a very brief overview of this is a procedural discussion, not a discussion about the South Shore VOTEC or any of the detail on the South Shore VOTEC. The board has to vote to put any override ballot questions on the ballot. You have to notify the town clerk 35 days prior to the election. So you have basically 2 meetings to take that vote, and that's why I want to put this in front of you. I'm not asking you to take a vote tonight. I think we'll do a more formal presentation, hopefully at the next meeting. I'm working with the committee and the superintendent on that. So you can see not just the procedural stuff, which I'm talking about tonight, but the actual project discussion. The 2 warrant articles that are on the warrant are for the actual project for appropriation. Town meeting must appropriate the funds. The voters must vote to approve the funds. The two motions that you have to make to put them on the warrant are a debt exclusion, which is a one-time vote that puts the debt principal and interest from the debt for our share of the new South Shore Voc School as a debt exclusion, which adds it to the annual tax levy. It's added annually. It is not a forever thing. Once that debt is paid, it goes away, and we don't pay any more under that debt exclusion. The second vote is a Proposition 2.5 override vote. It's an operating override vote to pay the expenses relating to sending students to South Shore Voc Tech. And that vote will be a second vote that you must take to put the ballot on put the question as a ballot initiative on our May election. The debt exclusion requires a 2/3 vote for you guys, which is actually, because of the math, is a 4/5 vote. The Proposition 2.5 override vote is a simple majority, both by you and at the ballot. So I just wanted to talk procedure and what has to happen, so you have that on your radar. I will give you a more detailed memo. In fact, I'm going to email that to you, because I gave it to the study committee already, so I can email that to you, so you have the memo that outlines all of this information.
Will that have the numbers, detailed numbers?
It does not have the numbers, because it's a procedural to talk about the procedures that we must follow. The numbers will be in the presentation that we
You will.
give.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And we're going to plan to have that presentation on the 18th?
I'm hoping the 18th. I don't want to do it without others that are part of that committee.
Right.
So we're trying to work those details out now.
Okay.
So if it's the 18th, and we have numbers disputed, we have one more meeting to make that vote. That's why I think 18th would be ideal.
I agree.
There's a lot of
That
moving
was
parts.
my original goal, is to make sure that you get the information about the project, which would be the two warrant articles, and then the override. And you have to decide whether you want to put those override questions on the ballot. So,
Okay. And we will invite the superintendent for that as well?
absolutely. I've had discussions with her.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Is there anything else on that?
oh, that's it. I have a couple of other items in the town manager report.
Okay.
Wanted to announce that the public forum on the discussion of kratom and other tobacco-adjacent items, but that the Board of Health is sponsoring, that had to be canceled because of the 30-plus inches of snow we had last week, is now scheduled for Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the community center. So that's Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at the community center. So if you want to just learn about it, come. If you have questions or input for them, they are, excited to be hearing from our residents regarding that. So again, Monday, March 9th, 6 p.m. at the community center.
Can we blast that out on social media too?
Yep, we are about to, yep.
Okay.
So, it's already out there, but it's not front-facing. I want it to
Yeah,
be more
I think that
in
needs
people's
to be.
face a little bit. That doesn't really sound right, but you know what I mean.
Yep.
So, second thing, I want to congratulate Pembroke High School's winter sports teams. Our winter sports teams had an unbelievable season across the board this year. Nearly all of them made the MIAA playoffs. From the indoor track teams to all of our girls basketball, girls hockey, boys basketball, boys hockey. There's one more I'm missing. I'll make sure I get that next time. I don't want to leave anybody out. Super season by everybody. I want to congratulate the young men and women. It is tough to be a high school athlete these days. The demands for high school academics and athletes are pretty high, and these folks performed at a very, very high level. We have two teams that are still alive. Both are in the round of 8 and the MIAA playoffs. That is our girls basketball team, who is doing incredibly well. They will play the winner of the, and I'm going to screw this up, and I apologize, nobody will know who it is anyway. Apponequet, I believe is how it's pronounced, high school, and Pope Francis High School. Those two teams still have to play. Our girls will play the winner of that game. Our girls' hockey team, and I tried really hard right before this meeting to get the final score. They were playing this evening down in Bourne against King Philip High School. They are actually the number 4 seed in the state tournament and have done really well. I'm hoping they win tonight because my opinion is that's going to be one of their tougher games. They win tonight, they may do really well. Well, they've already done really well. They're going to be in the semifinals for the state championship. So congratulations to everyone on that, and you know, great work by all of our sports teams. So that was my final item this evening.
Did you have something?
Yes, Bill, we just got 30 inches last week.
Thank you.
Can you recap what went well and what went bad for the town of Pembroke, lessons learned?
Sure. Yeah, and we're still completing our after-action report. What went well is, I mean, we were able to open our roads, and we were able to do that. What went bad is that, unfortunately, the town of Pembroke, due to some issues with CDL licenses and requirements by the state, has been downsizing our trucks from the big, huge trucks to, you know, smaller one-ton pickups. And when you get that much snow, one-ton pickups don't move it. So we had to use other pieces of equipment. We worked with MEMA to get a lot of state equipment here, or state-funded equipment, which is a good thing because we're not paying for it.
We don't pay any of that?
We don't know. In fact, we are, and I'll tell you as I recap the rest of it.
Okay.
To, you know, clear some of those things, get our schools open, get the sidewalks open, and make sure it was safe for our students. That was obviously a priority. The timing of the storm and the length of the storm was a nightmare. We don't have the luxury of being able to shift our crews. We don't have multiple crews, so you have to go as long as you can go and then start to shift people out and give people crew rest. That was a huge challenge for us. And at the height of the storm, the storm was just so heavy. Even if we had the most sophisticated equipment, we would not have been able to keep up with it. And it was an issue for our public safety response, so we had to put equipment with our public safety responders. Our fire, I don't know if you know this, but our fire department has a pickup truck with a plow on it that in a normal storm, it's great. It gets them where they need to go. Unfortunately, in this situation, that pickup was in the same situation as our pickup, so we had to put some front-end loaders out there, some bigger pieces of equipment to make sure our public safety could respond. What went really well, and I want to thank our Pembroke Emergency Management Agency folks, our public safety people, our DPW people, myself, public health, Lisa Cullity. We met regularly during this whole thing. Started, you know, right at the start of the storm and had regular meetings, and coordination was really good. You know, we don't do a ton of training within our emergency management agencies. We do some, but I am really, really proud of how well we handled that. Could we do better? Yeah, you can always do better, and that's what our action report will focus on, and what do we do different next time. But overall, we handled the storm as well as, or some people say better, than many of our neighbors in the state.
Bill, I had to follow up also. Some of the equipment that we purchased through town meeting, snow blower attachments for the trucks, will they put in use? Do we have enough equipment,
So we don't,
or is it simply manpower?
so it is the sidewalk piece is an equipment problem, which we have added a sidewalk snow blower to our spring capital plan as well, not as we already knew it was going to be an issue as a result of some other storms that we had. So the answer is yes, that those equipment's put in use, but when you have one sidewalk plow, this is why we brought the state in to help us out with that. You can't, it's so slow. I mean, you blow in 30 inches of snow, what are you doing? Half them, you know, not even. You're going 100 feet in 20 minutes. So that was a challenge. But fortunately, MEMA was able to help us out with some equipment and get some of those sidewalks cleared, especially Learning Lane, Hobbamock, and through the center here, because that's where most of it, you know, a lot of our elementary schools, we don't have walkers, so that it's not an issue.
And for the last one for me, for our next meeting, I will put it on you tonight. Can you give us a tally of what we're
Yeah.
looking at
So we're-
for snow cost?
Yeah, it's scary.
We know, don't say it tonight because I want
I
you
do-
to have the numbers.
I do want to say one other piece. We're putting together all of those numbers. Those numbers are still being.
And it still might sno, so
Right.
if you can give
It's
us the
gonna-
running
it's
tally.
gonna- we're gonna. And the other piece is, because we did declare a state of emergency, we are good with that. The governor declared a state of emergency, so we are submitting our costs to MEMA for potential reimbursement through the FEMA process. If we can trigger a high enough number in the Commonwealth, there will be FEMA funds. Now, someone asked me today, when do you get the FEMA funds? We need the money, and it could be 90 days or it could be 3 years. You just don't know when the money gets released. So,
Do you
however,
reimburse at 100% though?
75,
Okay, so there is something.
75%, yep.
2015 was fun on that one. My only question for that is, on the news, hearing on the news, because we were kind of like all hunkered in, I heard that we were one of the communities throughout the South Shore that the National Guard came in, is that correct?
No, Duxbury.
Okay, I knew Duxbury,
We did
but
not get
the
national.
news said
Oh, wait a
also
second.
We had them here.
that we had.
So we did have them here for a short portion of the storm to help out with the ambulances. However, for the snow clearing piece, they went to Duxbury. They were helping us with incident response at the height of the storm, but the actual snow clearing was MEMA contractors.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it was accurate, because hearing it on the news and then we're like,
Yeah,
okay,
so
what's going on?
it was accurate, but they weren't here for snow removal. They were here to assist with emergency response.
Okay.
Is it still one of the biggest issues that we can't find people with CDL licenses?
It is.
Is that really a big piece of this?
Yeah, and it's not just a piece for us. I've talked to several town managers and administrators, and it is a problem across the board. And a lot of town managers built in incentives to train people for CDLs, and unfortunately, they trained them and then they left. So they're pretty frustrated about that whole process.
I would think that that would be some sort of contractual thing. You have to stay for a minimum amount of time.
Yeah, I know, it's collective bargain, so.
I have my CDL, we have to stay for 3 years.
Yeah,
when
no,
we
I
get
know,
trained through
but
work,
I mean,
yeah.
unfortunately, they're represented by a union, and it would have to be collectively bargained. So.
Is there not some sort of, I mean, I know it's very
We can-
expensive to get your CDL, but I thought that there was something, I saw some sort of program where somebody within could be trained to train for CDL somewhere within our,
So we're looking into that process, but we don't have that level at this point.
that would be
So.
nice. Okay.
It's tough to keep the people engaged, to keep a CDL on. They have to have doctors.
I know. Well, I have mine, so I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people
So-
don't want to go through all that stuff to have a job.
Right.
Well, I think,
Well, and there's a number of pieces. Now that Dan brings it up, I'll share that. Your CDL does require, you get a medical card
Yep.
under the even though marijuana is legal in Massachusetts, under the Federal Motor Carrier Act, it is not. So we have to test regularly for drug and alcohol
yep.
as part of the federal reporting for that, and some people just don't want to.
So who does that with our CDL drivers now?
So we actually use a private agency,
Mm-hmm.
and, in-house, we don't do a lot of that. We have the medical examiner and all that other, within a private agency, and they randomly select, give us a list, and we send them that day.
Right. I mean, we do the
So,
same thing. But
yeah.
it's, and I mean, it's once a year, DOT
Yeah.
physical,
Yeah.
unless you have some sort of health issue.
Well, and you could have a random drug test at any
Random drug
point.
test, yes, but once a
Yeah.
year, DOT
Right. Yep.
physical. Yeah, I think it would be nice to look into that program, because I don't think that, nobody wants to pay $8,000 for their CDL.
Some cases up to 10 now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'd just like to add, and there was a lot of complaining about the response, the plowing online. And my road wasn't plowed for 2 days, but people should remember, because of the CDL, I believe, the DPW came after the first storm, came and gave us a report, and said they usually have somewhere in, I'm not going to get the exact number, like 46 plows out there, and we're down to like
Like
23.
Yeah,
20.
23.
Yeah.
23
So-
contractors.
And
Yeah.
that is the result of insurance requirements
Yeah.
for our private contractors.
That's our contractors.
Well, I mean, they were working with so much less, and they did the best they could, and I think they deserve a shout out.
Of course, they did, I think they were wonderful. Poor Joey Diudi, who's our director, was still responding to me in the middle of all of it when I was sending him messages. So I think they did a great job with what they had to work with. Website, we have a new website.
We do have a new website. Went
we talk about
live
that?
yesterday. It is a completely revamped website, and it meets the requirements for ADA and a lot of other things that our old website didn't do. I will be the first to tell you, it's not perfect, but it is so much better than our previous site.
It's not, is it complete
It is,
right now?
it is live. It is not 100%. Everything that was on our old site is live on a new one. We're still working on some of the new items that are there, so.
So who's managing the website then? How many different people?
So departments are now responsible for their own portion of the website, which they weren't previously. They were trained during this process over the last 2 months to be able to do that. The rest of the website is my office and Sue Globin.
Okay. I know I've gone on there and looked a little bit, and there was still some stuff that seemed like
Yeah,
it
and if
wasn't
you see
working
something,
out.
let us know. I mean,
Okay.
because we want it to be perfect.
Yeah, it was mostly, like, just, God, what's the word? Just the, like, wording not lining up and things like that that seemed funky.
Okay.
But I wasn't sure if it was done.
Yeah, and that depends, so I know some of the tabs across the top is dependent upon your computer
Phones and
also, and
computers.
how, how you blow that up.
But in
So-
essence, it
but
is
it's-
complete.
It is, well, it is 100% functional, yeah.
Okay. Nice, thank you. Anybody have anything else? Questions, anything? Okay. Do we have any old business tonight? New business? Okay, liaison updates? Anything? Do we have any community comment from the board? Do we have any community comment from our guests? Did you have something, Judy?
Yes,
Oh, could you come up here, please?
sure.
Hi,
Hey.
could you just identify yourself?
Sure. My name is Judy Ferrante, and I live at 15 High Street North.
Hi.
Hi, I just want to make a quick comment about the updated website in response to what I just heard. I was on the website today, and I was looking specifically for some information in order to attend a meeting that was held earlier today. Could not find it. So I'm not finger pointing, I'm just simply stating. I went looking for our general bylaws because I knew there was an amendment that was going to be proposed and discussed at the meeting. And I have never looked at our bylaws, and I thought it would be nice if I read it before I went to the meeting. And I could not find it. I found something dating back to 2009.
You couldn't find the meeting
I
list
could
or
not
the
find the
agenda?
bylaws.
Oh, you couldn't find the bylaws themselves?
I could not find the general
That one I
bylaws.
saw today, like right on the front page, there's the green rectangles, and it was one of, like, right there. No?
And maybe it's there now, but
Okay.
at 3 o'clock this afternoon, it wasn't.
Okay, interesting.
And I'm not pointing at,
No, no.
it was good to know that each group is responsible for their own section. And they acknowledged that not everything was there yet.
Okay.
So that was fine. And I think it's good to have each group be responsible for its own section, but I also have a concern about oversight, about these groups keeping on top of their sections. And I didn't hear that here just a minute
Right.
ago. I was looking for that.
So,
Like, who's going to make sure that they're all keeping up with keeping us up to date?
Posting agendas.
I went looking for agendas and meetings and that kind of thing, because I want to become more involved. And so I'm a little concerned about is the information I want going to be there? And if it's not, where do we, as the public, sort of escalate that concern? Is it here?
well, you can come here for sure, but if you come to my office, you'll get a much faster response because they only meet every 2 weeks, and we will respond and fix it immediately. As far as meetings and agendas, they are all there. I can guarantee that. As far as the bylaws, I will have to check, but there is a tab for the bylaws. I know I've read the bylaws in training when we were over because we've been training since the end of November. I have seen them there, but whether they're for, did you do a search in the search for
And
bylaws?
I used your search button, and again, it was a new site, and there was a lot to look at, and everything was new and exciting. I agree with Tracy, I kind of like got caught in a loop and was like, how the heck did I get there? And I had to go to your site map to figure out how to get back. So there's, I'm gone through enough system conversions to know there's always a burn-in period, and there's always this kind of stuff, so I'm not here to complain. I just want to state for the record that I think there needs to be an oversight of the people maintaining their separate sections.
Absolutely.
Because some people just love this stuff, and some people just hate this stuff. So somebody's got to keep everybody on track.
And she
Thank
could
you.
just as easily call, too. She doesn't need to come in.
Oh, yeah, you don't need to come in,
You
just
can
call.
Not me or anybody.
Right,
You know,
anybody, of
as people say, you know, I never use that website because I can't find what I'm looking for, or it's so,
Right. Well,
that
that's not
information's
useful,
so
is it?
old. You know, how do we, again, I just wanted to bring it to the table that some higher level of oversight or an ability for us to reach out to somebody is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. All right, that's everything today. Do we have a need to enter executive session?
We do.
And will we need to return to public session?
I don't believe so, no.
All right, Rich, would you make the motion, please?
Executive session pursuant to provisions of General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 21, 1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Assistant Town Manager to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Town Manager.
Second.
All in favor? John?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Rich?
Yes.
Sean?
Yeah.
And I'm a yes. Thank you, everybody.